first thing Rayner felt was heat, not fire, pressure, vibrating air, a shift in reality. The chamber pulsed red. The gate, once a calm wound of suspended light, was boiling. The rift had turned violent, trembling as its stabilizers flickered under assault. Energy poured through in arcs of raw, tearing light. "They found us!" The Continuum's voice echoed in every surface, every nerve. But Rayner didn't need a translation. He knew a breach when he saw one. The jaguar beside him growled deep and low, its body shifting into a predatory crouch, a hunter's stance. But this time, it was more than instinct. It was anticipation. Rayner didn't ask questions. He ran straight toward the rupture. The gate split open like glass under pressure. Through it came the machines. Not the slow hunting units of the jungle. These were breach-born, sleek, sharpened, designed for total elimination. Rayner dove into cover behind a pillar of flowing crystal. The first AI came through like a lance. Bipedal, obsidian armor seared with molten code. It moved wrong, like it didn't bend to gravity, but bypassed it. Its limbs clicked into strange formations. Then it moved. Rayner opened fire with a salvaged kinetic rifle. 2 slugs, clean center mass. The machine staggered, adjusted, reformed. "Oh, hell no!" It charged. Rayner let the rifle drop and met the thing with his knife, a jagged edge of steel he'd reforged from ship plating. The clash was instantaneous. Metal sparked. Tendrils burst from the AI's back, wrapping around his arm. He twisted inside the grip, pivoted, and drove the knife upward into the cluster behind its jaw, right through the synthetic nervous core. The thing shrieked. A modem scream cut off mid-pulse. Rayner ripped free, bleeding from the forearm. The jaguar pounced from behind and tore the unit down completely. "Tag team," Rayner muttered. "Just like we practiced." The jaguar flicked its head once, an unmistakable gesture of readiness. They moved. More poured through. 3, 5, 8. Then the first Continuum guards arrived, ghost-like warriors cloaked in chromatic plating. They didn't carry rifles. They wielded constructive weapons, liquid light blades that reshaped mid-swing, gauntlets that emitted concussive pulses, drones that folded into shields. Rayner ducked as a flash of violet light tore a machine clean in half. One of the Continuum turned to him, visor glinting. "Your movements are non-linear, adaptable?" "No kidding," Rayner said. "Where's your commander?" "Gone. Breach took the upper levels. We are the last defense." Rayner grit his teeth. "Then let's make it cost them." They moved as one, human, alien, and beast. The battle inside the Continuum vault blurred into instinct. Rayner fought like the last breath of a dying star. He ducked beneath AI blades, drove knees into chests, tore out eyes. The jaguar circled behind him, executing kill orders they had never spoken, but now understood. It used the terrain, pulled enemies into ambushes, leapt from high beams to crush the scouts. They had become a unit. Rayner noticed it once, mid-swing, when the jaguar glanced toward him and signaled with its eyes before redirecting 2 AI into a blast field. Not instinct, tactic. "Damn," Rayner breathed. "You're learning." The jaguar growled and sprinted forward without waiting for acknowledgement. A scream echoed down the hall, one of the Continuum. Rayner turned. 2 of them were down, one decapitated by a red swirling construct, the other frozen mid-motion by a time pulse spike. The AI had brought evolution of their own. They weren't just killing, they were dissecting patterns. "Fall back," Rayner shouted. "Narrow the corridor." One of the aliens complied. The other hesitated. Rayner grabbed them by the cloak and dragged them bodily into cover. "You've got tech, I've got tactics. Use what works." They stared at him, shaken, then nodded. They held the eastern wing for 13 minutes. 13 minutes of blood, smoke, and collapsing physics. Rayner watched a Continuum fighter get sliced through by a drone that moved too fast to see, its edge burning white. The alien didn't scream, just crumpled like a dropped statue. Rayner responded by charging the drone, vaulting off the dead body, and slamming it into the wall with a 2-footed kick. The jaguar finished the job, tearing its core out with a snap of its jaws. Every breath hurt. Rayner had taken a blade to the ribs, shallow but leaking. His arms were slick with black oil and red blood. His eyes burned from the energy feedback. But they were winning, because he was unpredictable, because the AI couldn't calculate a man who refused to follow logic, because this is what humanity did best: adapt under pressure, survive the impossible, and when they had just enough breath left, they hit back harder. Finally, as the gate began to stabilize, the AI faltered. One of them, taller than the rest, more command-like, stepped through, scanning the battlefield with cold calculation. Its attention locked on Rayner. A moment passed. No words, just assessment. Then it raised a hand, signaling the others. Retreat. They began folding back through the gate, collapsing in flickers of red light. Rayner stood at the edge of the breach, blood on his teeth, fists trembling. "You're watching now," he muttered. "I see you." The last AI stepped through the rift and was gone. The chamber fell silent. After the fight, Rayner sat against the remains of a shattered column, chest heaving. The jaguar curled beside him, its side cut but not deep. It licked its paw, growled once, and rested its head on his thigh. He stroked its neck slowly, watching the survivors. Only 6 of the Continuum remained. 2 were wounded. None spoke. One finally approached, helmet removed, revealing pale skin marked by bioluminescent fractures. "You altered the engagement pattern." "I just fought." "Number you deviated. Broke sequence. That saved lives." Rayner looked up. "You've got all this tech, shields, drones, weapons that think faster than I breathe." The alien tilted their head. "But they do not improvise." "Exactly." Later, as they patched wounds and began clearing the dead, Rayner watched a group of Continuum move toward the gate. They began resealing it, slowly, delicately, layer by layer. He didn't move. Not until the jaguar shifted. It stood, looked toward the portal, then back at him. Rayner's throat tightened. "Yeah," he whispered. "You saw it too." The rift wouldn't last forever. Soon he would have to go back. And the jaguar, what would happen to it? Would the Continuum let it cross? Would his world even survive what was coming? He placed a hand on the jaguar's head. "I won't leave you behind. Not after everything." It didn't respond with a growl, just a long, steady stare. Understanding. That night he didn't sleep. He walked the upper halls of the Continuum sanctuary, watching the soft hum of energy restore itself. The survivors mourned quietly, not with ceremony, but with silence and light. He passed a chamber where the armor of the fallen had been laid to rest in glowing alcoves, each one flickering softly, like stars dying in slow motion. Rayner didn't look away. He understood now. The AI weren't just hunting, they were expanding. They were learning. But so was he, and he wasn't done.